Ben Johnson putting the staff together, man. Ben Johnson, it doesn't feel like it's been only a week since he's been the coach, but it has been a week since he has been the coach. And he got to work this past weekend of adding people to his coaching team, man. So coaching staff. As soon as he got hired last Monday, immediately Adam Schefter put out a report that Dennis Allen, the former head coach of the New Orleans Saints, was rumored to be his defensive coordinator, and that was confirmed yesterday. Now, I haven't gotten, looking at my email, see if they sent them. No, I have not gotten the official press release from the Bears about this, which means they probably still working on actual contract details with him, but he's going to be defensive coordinator. Declan Doyle is going to be the offensive coordinator. He's like a 28-year-old tight ends coach with the Denver Broncos last year. People said that he is a Sean Payton disciple, but we really don't know that much about him. You know, it didn't really, this one kind of came out of left field a little bit. But he's going to be the offensive coordinator. Of course, he won't be calling plays. That will be Ben Johnson. Richard Hightower is the only coach from last year's staff who kept his job. So he does not have to find a realtor to find a new house. He will continue to be the special teams head coach. Al Harris is leaving the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to come over as the defensive passing game coordinator and working with the DBs over there. Antoine Randall is going to be leaving Detroit, coming back home to Chicago. He's going to be the assistant head coach and also be wide receiver coach. And, of course, J.T. Barrett, the former Ohio State Buckeye, is also leaving Detroit. He will be Caleb Williams' quarterback coach. Just my thoughts on this. I love the Dennis Allen hire. His last couple of years calling plays, he's been a really, really good defensive coordinator, been finished top 10, a lot of top 5 starts. I think that if you continue to add roster-wise, you still need to fix that defensive line. This is going to be a more playmaking defense than we've seen in the last couple of years, probably since Vic Fangio led the defense. So I'm excited about that. And he's a head coach with a lot of experience. When you're a first-time coach like Ben Johnson, you want to surround yourself with experience. Declan Doyle, I don't know. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know about this kid. I don't know much outside of what they're telling me. And I'm calling him a kid because I'm 8 years older than him. He's 28 years old. Not that big of a deal for me, even though he's going to be working hand in hand with Caleb. So I don't want to act like it's not a big deal. But at the end of the day, Ben Johnson's going to be calling plays. So I don't really have too much an opinion about that. Richard Hightower, I thought he was a really good special teams coach. I'm glad that he's back. He was probably the only coach on the coaching staff who didn't give us cookie cutter answers when he would come up to the podium and have his podium days. So it's going to be good to see him running back. Al Harris, Antoine Randall, JT Beer. I love these. I think Al Harris is going to make a man out of Tyree Stevenson, which is desperately needed. I tweeted as soon as Ben Johnson was hired, bring Antoine Randall home. He is coming back over here. I think he's going to be great in the assistant head coach role, helping Ben out, and it's really going to be good for the wide receivers. I know we're not going to be using DJ Moore like a running back. JT Barrett, that's going to be good for him as well. Alex got something to chase that Brad Biggs said about 20 minutes ago. Bears expected to retain tight end coach Jim Dre, linebacker coach Borgenzi, DL coach Travis Smith, and safety coach Andre Curtis. I didn't know all of them. He said not for sure. But yeah, that's what he's expecting. Well, that would be good if it could, because Andre Curtis, I think, is really good. I'm not mad at any of those. As long as they get a new offensive line coach. Obviously, they fired a new offensive line coach. So that'd be good as well, man. So I think it's a good start. I think that this is a solid professional coaching staff for Ben. And now it's up to Ryan Poles to add the players to it. Ben, what do you think about what you've seen from these hires, and what's your opinion on them?
With the Declan Doyle joint is already like a lot of weird rumors that's going around, like he's Mike Dicker's nephew and everything. Everybody's trying to find some weird ass reason to try to make sense of and hire of a 28-year-old offensive coordinator. But I think you said it right. I think that one, he's highly regarded around the league as an up-and-comer. Sean Payton, he was on his staff while he was in Denver. and stuff like that too. So when I see something like that, I'm like, all right, cool. He's worked with people that is highly respected. The second part about it is it's not like he's going to be calling plays. Like even during the press conference, Ben Johnson was saying like he needs somebody to prepare, get everything, in order, and basically I'll take care of the rest. So it does feel like, well, one, Ben Johnson is the offensive coordinator of this team, but it does feel like that he has somebody that he can groom and grow. And depending on how he does it, he has somebody that's going to be around for a couple of years. I don't think there's going to be somebody that's going to take a chance on a 31-year-old offensive coordinator that's not going to be calling some plays. So I do see the fix might be in if he could groom him and grow him and everything. Ben Johnson could possibly seed play calling him one day. But right now, I got somebody that I could groom and grow and put my offense in the right position. As far as everything else, Den Allen is the star here. Dennis Allen being the defensive coordinator on a team that has defensive pieces around them. Hey, I am really looking at growth from the defensive side of the ball, especially if they do what they need to do in draft and free agency, which is to find somebody opposite of Montez Sweat, find a 3-tech, or get Billings healthy. Because I forgot who it was that was talking. I heard them talking today. It's like Gervon Dexter was doing well for a while until Billings got hurt. Things changed. Even Ben Johnson talked about Andrew Billings. Didn't think we would ever hear so many people talk, so much talk around Billings really being the cornerstone of this defensive line. So if you could get Billings back healthy, Gervon Dexter is probably going to profit off of it. You find somebody opposite of Montez Sweat, and you find a future tackle and a future center in this draft. Ben Johnson's going to have a lot to play with. Dennis Allen's going to have a lot to play with, and we saw what he did and with the Saints when he was the defensive coordinator and when he had pieces around him. Outside of that, as far as the position coaches go, the Travis Smith thing is going to be interesting too, since they work with each other. So it's like, okay, what can you do to get the best out of this defensive line? That's already a duo that I'm looking at, probably more than the Ben Johnson, Declan Doyle thing, because defensively, we know what Dennis Allen can do, and we need growth on that defensive line. Also, one thing about the Declan Doyle thing that is confirmed is that Chris Doyle is his dad. For those who don't know who Chris Doyle is, that's the dude that was the strength and conditioning coach over at Iowa. That James Daniels, former Chicago Bear, James Daniels, while he was at Iowa, and a couple of Iowa players said that he was racist as hell. So interesting.
It is interesting, but I will shoot him this bill. Just because daddy racist don't mean he is.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'm not saying that.
No, I saw Dan Bernstein alluding to that on earlier on, and I was just like, there's a lot of people who parents are pieces of shit, and they're not. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll shoot him some bail on that.
It's always interesting when white people do that shit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. 100.
So cool. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not